Most people will never experience true financial freedom. That's not a pessimistic statement. It's a reality check. You're working hard, maybe even making decent money, but something doesn't add up. The financial peace you've been chasing feels further away with each passing year. Why? Because nobody taught you how money actually works. The system isn't designed for you to win. It's designed to keep you comfortable enough not to rebel, but struggling enough to keep consuming and borrowing. Financial freedom isn't about having fancy cars or mansions. It's about choice. The choice to work because you want to, not because you have to. The choice to say no to things that drain your energy. The choice to build a life on your terms without money anxiety dictating your decisions. Let me break down the 4 levels of financial freedom that separate those who will remain trapped in the rat race from those who will truly build wealth. Level 1. Survival mode. This is where most people live, paycheck to paycheck, one emergency away from financial disaster. You're making just enough to cover your basic needs, but there's nothing left for saving or investing. Your relationship with money is dominated by fear and scarcity. In survival mode, you're not thinking about building wealth. You're thinking about making it to the next paycheck. You're trapped in reactive thinking instead of strategic planning. Every financial decision is made from a place of immediate need rather than long-term benefit. What keeps you here? A consumption mindset. You've been programmed to believe that spending equals happiness. Every raise, bonus, or windfall goes toward lifestyle inflation instead of creating assets that generate income. The hard truth? Your job will never make you wealthy. Trading time for money is a limited equation. There are only so many hours in a day, and your energy isn't infinite. Yet you keep pouring more time into a system that's designed to extract maximum value from you while giving just enough back to keep you coming back. To escape survival mode, you must create breathing room. This means making hard choices about what you actually need versus what you've been conditioned to want. Cut expenses ruthlessly. Find ways to increase your income. Build an emergency fund that gives you at least 3 months of runway. But most importantly, you need a mindset shift. Stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an owner. Every dollar you spend is a dollar that could have been invested in your freedom. Level 2. Stability. At this level, you've created some breathing room. You have savings, your high-interest debt is gone or manageable, and you're no longer living paycheck to paycheck. This is where you begin to feel some relief, but it's also where complacency can set in. The danger of stability is comfort. You stop feeling the acute pain of financial stress, so you ease up on the discipline that got you here. You start justifying small luxuries that eventually become expectations. Before you know it, lifestyle inflation has eaten away your margin. Financial stability isn't financial freedom. It's just a better prison. You're still dependent on your job, still trading your life energy for money, still vulnerable to economic downturns or health issues that could wipe out everything you've built. To move beyond stability, you need to start thinking about creating assets that generate income without your direct involvement. This means investing consistently, not just in a retirement account that you can't touch for decades, but in vehicles that can create cash flow now. The shift here is from saving to investing. Saving protects your money from your impulses. Investing puts your money to work, so it creates more money. Most people never make this transition because they've been taught that investing is risky, complicated, or only for the wealthy. The truth? Not investing is the biggest risk you can take. Inflation is silently eating away at your purchasing power. That money sitting in your savings account? It's losing value every single day. Level 3. Independence. Financial independence means your investments generate enough income to cover your basic living expenses. You work because you choose to, not because you have to. This is where real freedom begins. At this level, you've built a portfolio of income-producing assets: real estate, dividend stocks, businesses with systems, royalties, or other investments that generate cash flow without requiring your constant attention. The key shift here is from active income to passive income. Active income requires your time and presence. Passive income works while you sleep. The wealthy understand this distinction intimately. They may work hard, but they're building or buying assets that will eventually replace their need to work. What separates those who reach independence from those who don't? Delayed gratification. The ability to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gain. The discipline to invest consistently instead of spending emotionally. Most people never reach this level because they can't overcome their addiction to immediate rewards. They can't resist the social pressure to keep up. They measure success by consumption rather than by freedom. Financial independence isn't about deprivation. It's about intentionality. It's about making conscious choices about what truly brings value to your life, rather than letting marketing messages and social expectations dictate your spending. Level 4. Abundance. The final level is where money becomes a tool for impact rather than a goal in itself. At this stage, your assets generate substantially more than you need for your lifestyle. You have the freedom to pursue your highest level contribution without financial constraints. Abundance isn't measured by how much you have, but by how much you can give in time, energy, resources, and capital. It's about creating value on a scale that extends far beyond your own needs. Few reach this level, not because it's impossible, but because they never set it as a destination. They've been conditioned to believe that just enough is all they can aspire to. They've internalized limiting beliefs about wealth and what they deserve. The mindset shift required here is from scarcity to possibility, from either-or thinking to both-and thinking, from competing for resources to creating new value. What keeps most people from abundance? They never leverage their initial success. They build a comfortable business or investment portfolio and stop. They don't reinvest their profits into bigger opportunities. They don't build systems that can scale beyond their personal capacity. Breaking through to freedom. So how do you move through these levels? It starts with brutal honesty about where you are now and why you're stuck there. If you're in survival mode, focus on increasing your income skills and cutting expenses. Create margin so you can start building assets instead of just paying bills. If you're stable, guard against lifestyle inflation. Redirect your energy toward building income-producing assets rather than accumulating more stuff or status symbols. If you're approaching independence, systematize your income sources so they require less of your direct involvement. Look for opportunities to leverage what's working by scaling or replicating it. If you're moving toward abundance, focus on impact and legacy. How can your wealth create value that outlasts you? Across all these levels, remember this: financial freedom isn't an event, it's a progression. Each decision either moves you closer to freedom or reinforces your chains. Every purchase, investment, and use of your time is a vote for the future you want to create. The greatest barrier to your financial freedom isn't the economy, your job, or your starting point. It's your mindset. The beliefs you hold about money, value, and what's possible for you will either elevate you or limit you. What financial stories are you telling yourself? What unconscious patterns are keeping you trapped? What beliefs about money do you need to re-examine? Your financial transformation begins the moment you decide that freedom is non-negotiable, that you refuse to spend your life trading time for money in a game designed for you to lose. The journey won't be easy or quick, but freedom never is. The question isn't whether the price is high, it's whether the payoff is worth it. Is your financial freedom worth fighting for? If so, which level will you commit to reaching next? Like this video if it resonated with you, share it with someone who needs this wake-up call, and subscribe for more straight-talking financial wisdom that cuts through the noise and focuses on what actually works.